Quidditch is a difficult sport. It is fast-paced, there's a lot going on, and it gets brutal, which can become a turn-off for beginners. In this guide, I'm focusing on essential tips to help you feel more confident on your broom, making your career as a professional Quidditch player an enjoyable and fun experience in Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. When playing as a chaser, which you will be doing a lot of in Quidditch Champions, it is crucial to utilize your teammates. So for the love of Merlin, pass that quaffle. A thrown quaffle flies way faster than you can and can leap across a quarter of a field to your teammate who will carry it further. This will keep the momentum going without running out of boost. Just overall, if you're holding a quaffle for over 5 seconds, you're holding it too long. In the same way, be available for a pass. So many times I'll be flying with the ball in my hand with both of the chasers flying in front of me and none of them being open for a pass.
And it soars through the goal.
I know, dodge and bludger can get tricky at first considering the game doesn't properly train you to do that, but with practice, you'll get a hang of it. When a beater initiates a bludger attack, you get a red meter covering your character with a filling gauge resembling the distance between you and the bludger, followed by a sound effect which always terrifies the living hell out of me. You also get an arrow and a tiny animation of a bludger that inches closer to the arrow. That arrow indicates the direction the bludger is coming from. Now, the two main things you need to decide at this moment is when to dodge and where. The first thing you choose is where. Ideally, you want to dodge in the direction the bludger is coming from. If the bludger arrow in general is on the right side, then that's where you want to dodge. Why? Because if you look at the trajectory of the ball, it doesn't always make super sharp turns during attack. Here's your trajectory, and that's the bludger's. If you dodge left, you will put yourself right in front of the bludger's way and still get hit. If you don't see the arrow, that means it's flying from below you or right in front of you. Dodge down. If you see just a dot, it's coming from behind you. Dodge anywhere. Of course, there's still a chance of the bludger hitting you anyways, but by following this strategy, you will lower that percentage chance by a ton. And don't forget that you're a bludger too. And everyone has a health bar. And a knocked out chaser is better than the one chasing you. I know it's annoying when it happens to you when you get just bombarded, but that's part of the game. In fact, some teams use this as a tactic to literally kill other chasers and keepers, so when you have a chance to tackle a nearby chaser, do it. It does sound like an offensive way of playing, but if you look at it from a different perspective, you're actually playing defensively by ridding of future attacks on your quaffle carrier. I mean, obviously those players are not going to be on the floor forever, but you're going to win sometime. Effective teamwork is crucial in Quidditch Champions, and having a solid strategy can make all the difference. Here's how each position can contribute to a winning game. For chasers, avoid clustering together. Instead, adopt a formation that covers about half of the field. This way, you'll always have a teammate within a quarter of a field's distance to pass the quaffle to, enhancing your chances of making successful plays. For beaters, stay engaged. Be attentive to the game's dynamics. Track who has quaffle and where it's headed. If opposing chasers seem stronger, focus on disrupting them with bludgers. If your chasers are performing well, assist by targeting the enemy keeper or preventing the seeker from scoring those crucial 30 points. For seekers, just be fast, but well, in general, being fast is essential, and some brooms can assist with that, but I will get more into brooms later on. Also, strategic play is equally important as the brooms. If you're in a head-to-head race with another seeker, have your beater slow them down. If, on the other hand, you're falling significantly behind, consider shifting focus to support your chasers instead. And for keepers, I beg you, give us the rings. Once your cooldown finishes, quickly launch another boost and wait until the arrow reaches the far end of the field before you start placing the rings. While ideally you want the rings in all positions, if you see an enemy chasers advancing into your half, better hold the launcher and focus on defending the rings. Just like in any sport, having the right gear is key. Equipping yourself with the right broom for your role will maximize your potential. From the start, you're given 3 brooms. The other 3 you're given if you've pre-ordered the game, got the deluxe edition, or played Hogwarts Legacy. Each broom has 3 main stats: speed, durability, and agility. You can toggle additional details with more minute stats, but we'll get to those later. For chasers and seekers, I'd recommend starting with Clean Sweep. It has good speed and agility. If you have Legacy, get that one. It's far more superior right off the bat. Keepers don't need as much speed, so you can go with the Comet. And while beaters might also benefit from this one, I found it to be too difficult to go after seekers, so Shooting Star might be a better choice. For beaters, I recommend switching to Oakshaft as soon as you unlock it, but meanwhile, upgrade these brooms to the maximum using Moonstone. And for more info on the rest of the brooms, their weaknesses and strengths, stay tuned to my channel. I'll make sure to bring you all the breakdowns. Skill points are earned by completing career matches and PvP multiplayer matches, and each character and role has a unique set of skills to upgrade. There are 3 skill trees per role: the role-specific skill like bludger handling for beaters or quaffle handling for chasers, teamwork, and tackling. When you start earning skill points, prioritize upgrading your role-specific skill tree first. For example, maxing out the chaser skill tree allows you to unlock powerful abilities like the kick shot. These specializations make a significant impact on your performance in your designated role. Next, focus on the tackling skill tree. Enhancing your tackling skills benefits you across all the roles, making you a more versatile and effective player on the field because you will be tackling a lot. While it is important to eventually invest in all skill trees for a well-rounded character, early specialization in role-specific skills and tackling will give you a strategic advantage in matches. To enhance your interception skills and avoid predictability, move in a curved, snaky pattern rather than flying in a straight line when playing as a chaser. Make wide banks while carrying the quaffle and pay attention to the red arrows indicating other players' positions. When you see these arrows light up with yellow almost all the way, dodge immediately, ideally vertically, as this tends to be most effective. And remember to reinitiate your boost right after dodging, as it will be cancelled otherwise. When it comes to tackling, approach chasers from the side rather than the back. In general, chasers are more likely to dodge horizontally, making it easier to intercept if you come in from the side. Also, use curved trajectories similar to a bludger to improve your chances of intercepting the quaffle. Once you acquire the quaffle, immediately change direction to continue with your curved path while maintaining that snaky pattern. And also ensure you tackle in the right direction and at the right time. Your dodge will follow the cursor's direction, which can be deceptive during turns. Also, avoid jerking the cursor after pressing the tackle button. There's a little split-second window where you can still correct the direction. Also, each tackle involves a forward leap, so factor that into your timing. When you're still miles away from the goal and running low on boost with quaffle in your hands and no chasers in position to pass to, just throw the quaffle ahead of you. This move forces everyone to chase after the ball, allowing you to slow down and regenerate your boost. Meanwhile, since the opponents have been chasing you, they're likely low on boost as well. So by throwing the quaffle ahead, you A, prevent them from getting the quaffle, B, prevent them from recharging their boost, and C, you gain a tactical advantage by positioning yourself closer to the opponent's rings. Improving your skills in Quidditch Champions, like in any game, requires dedicated practice. The open practice mode is your gym for honing these skills, but it's crucial to use it effectively. Like, don't just shoot hoops aimlessly, instead customize the practice settings to target specific techniques and improve your gameplay. For example, if you want to refine your aiming, focus solely on shooting against the keeper. Practice switching quickly between rings and repeat this dozens and dozens of times, and as you get better, gradually increase the difficulty of the keeper to challenge yourself further. If you're looking to master dodging, then just select only the beater and make him elite. The practice arena offers a variety of scenarios to simulate real game situations, but it is important that you utilize those different aspects to maximize your practice sessions. And it might seem straightforward, but consistent practice against increasingly challenging opponents will prepare you for PvP. Because the reality is, if you cannot beat strong bots, you will not going to be able to beat the real people. If the enemy keeper has the ball, move closer to the center of the field. It is very likely that the ball will fly half of that distance and into the opposing team's chaser, so be ready to tackle that chaser right away, and it is easier to do it when you're ahead of them.
Overton team steal possession!
Don't overthink it. If you're flying for a goal and there's an empty ring, just go for it. It sounds kind of dumb simple, but so many times I'll literally be going for an empty ring and at the last second decide to switch to another one and literally give the quaffle to the keeper, or I don't know, get a foot in my mouth again. So when you have a shot, take it. Talking about foot in your mouth, try not to get too close to the rings, either with or without the quaffle after a hit or miss. Especially after a miss, because I know it's tempting to try to sack the keeper, but you can't because a throw equals a dodge and there's a cooldown for that, so you will most likely get hit by the keeper anyways. So try to always have a mental buffer zone around the keeper to stay away from, unless you are the seeker or the keeper. That has to apply to everything, including when trying to hit the rings, because if you get too close, the keeper can simply steal it from you. So, character customization and different skins serve a purely cosmetic role in the game. However, there is one way how you can weaponize it. During matches, you have red and blue teams. Your team will always be blue. From the enemy's perspective, their team is also blue. Their name tags, emblems, icons, whatever. What you can do as a team is unify and enhance that blue color by getting either Ravenclaw or Beauxbaton's outfits, which may very well confuse the opposing team in certain scenarios. Like oftentimes, the game fails to properly display the name or, emblems of the players. And chances are, the enemy sometimes may confuse you for their teammates in the midst of chaos. I mean, that happened to me, so I'm using this as a tip now. In the game, you have two types of presets for your controls, Broom Racer and Sharpshooter. If you can decide which one is better for what, well, it's kind of in the name. Sharpshooter is meant more for chaser and beater, and Broom Racer is good for the seeker. Keepers have their own blend of controls. But what I encourage you to do is to play around with each of the presets and customize certain button inputs. For example, sometimes I prefer the speed boost to be a hold and not a toggle, mostly because I often get confused if I'm toggling on or off the boost, and just I spend time just trying to figure out that. Also in the Sharpshooter, the right stick is also set to toggle the rear cam, which is so annoying when it happens in intense moments. It disorients me completely. Since you cannot disable it, I'd recommend you switch it to camera zoom. At least that one is not as disorienting. Oh, and make sure to increase the sensitivity of camera movement. I have it at 95%. Yes, that 5% short of 100 actually makes a difference for me. At default, 50% is just way too slow, which for the seeker, it might actually come handy because you gotta be maneuverable but also pretty stable. You only need just subtle adjustments during flight while trying to get all the rings, and 50% might actually help with that, so you're not zigzagging all the time. For better prioritization of the goals, isolate the rings into two groups, the right ring and two left ones. For chasers, it's flipped. Treat the middle one and the left one as the one ring to rule them all. Always note that the right ring is furthest away from the others, and chasers will try to lure you to either side so you open the other, which is something you should learn to do as a chaser. The next trick is very common in all types of sports, bluffing. It's when the player makes the goalkeeper assume the direction they are going to shoot and take action on that assumption, resulting in an open window which the player takes. In Quidditch Champions, it works the same way. The trick that I like to use is to use the barrel roll instead of the actual change of direction. Barrel roll is a big movement and is better seen from a distance, which makes the keeper follow the direction of your roll. Ideally, you want to choose the left ring, start flying towards it, and then as you get closer and see the keeper moving to that ring, dodge to the right and quickly throw the quaffle to the left ring. The dodge doesn't change your altitude, so you'll only have to slightly nudge the cursor to the left. By doing this trick, you'll confuse the keeper, making them use the quick tackle button, which will eat the necessary milliseconds for them to get back. But make sure you do the quick throw, don't charge it. Because that's well, honestly, I can keep talking for hours about chaser tactics, which by the way, I'll be doing in my dedicated guide that I'll try to make for the rest of the roles as well. But now I want to hear from you guys. Which tips did you find useful, or what tips do you have for me in general that I haven't included in this video? Let me know in the comments. But guys, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe button, and all the other buttons of that nature. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.